It's Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. We start off with news that police are probing yet another unnatural death. For the fourth time in 3 days, lawmen are trying to determine the circumstances that led to the death of one of this island's residents. This time, though, they're investigating the death of a man who was found lying on the road at Edge Hill St. Thomas, near the entrance to the Lester Vaughan School. Investigations are ongoing. On Sunday and on Monday, police responded to 3 killings, all involving women, 2 in St. Lucie and another in Christchurch. For more on this latest story, log on to our Facebook or website or other social media sites. A $250,000 fine and/or 2 years in prison for soliciting or accepting bribes, and a $100,000 fine for board members or tribunal members who fail to disclose conflict of interest. These are some of the proposed penalties in the Planning and Development Bill. It has already been laid in Parliament and is being reviewed by stakeholders ahead of its upcoming debate. Attorney at law and consultant Christine Toppin-Allahar told stakeholders a planning and development board would be set up and would play a critical role.
That board would be the primary mechanism for decision making about planning applications in Barbados, although the power of the minister to deal with applications of strategic importance has been retained, and the chief town planner is mentioned, as is the department. And the chief town planner will be the person who will bring applications to the board and organize the meetings and so on, with the chairman, obviously. But the chief town planner is going to be making decisions also on certain classes of applications as a delegate of the board.
The line has been drawn. Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphreys, says government will not back down from the April 1 ban on some categories of single-use plastic and styrofoam products. He says extensive consultations were held and importers and manufacturers had enough time to get rid of existing stock.
Notwithstanding the request for 6 months, have then brought in more styrofoam, needing an additional 6 months to be able to get rid of it. It will not happen in Barbados. And because I know that we have been very, very fair, and because I know that we've had the necessary consultations, and because I know that we communicated this at every single stage where we were, and also because I know that the idea came from them to give them until April 1st, that request cannot and will not be accommodated. There's a line that has to be drawn in the sand.
The banned products include cups, cutlery, straws, plates and styrofoam containers used in the culinary industry. Manufacturers of plastic bags have until next year, January, to stop producing petroleum-based versions of the bags. Minister of Education Santia Bradshaw is not satisfied that enough attention is being given to how behavioral issues could be affecting students' performance in the 11+ exams. And she says continuous assessment is needed in the lead-up to the examinations.
So I would like to believe that the conversation actually, apart from being on an examination alone, actually looks at the continuous assessment of our young people, not just for academic qualifications, but also behavioral challenges that they may have, and that we can put in place systems to be able to deal with all children and the types of different ways in which children learn, as opposed to what has been happening, which is a very rigid way of not only testing, but also of assessing our young people in the system.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Over to Guyana, where Ifan Ali has emerged as a presidential candidate for the People's Progressive Party. That's despite being embroiled in controversy. More from Capital News.
The former housing minister, who is also before the court on 19 fraud charges, said he was humbled by the confidence the party placed in him. Touching on the court case and his academic qualification, which has made the news over the past couple of days, Ali said every part of his qualification will be released.
I've committed to releasing more of what I've requested, and I will stick to this commitment. There is nothing for me to hide. There is no way for me to hide.
Transcripts?
And transcripts, yes. I've requested additional transcripts of everything that I've completed over the years.
Ali had 24 of the 35 Central Executive members vote, while his fellow contestant, former Attorney General Annie Nandalal, secured 11 votes.
And finally, Zimbabwe's Human Rights Commission is accusing security forces of systemic torture after recent protests turned violent. The president has called for a national dialogue to address the protests over the rise in living costs. But some people worry nothing is going to change. More from Al Jazeera.
Last week, Zimbabweans demonstrated against a fuel price hike, which had more than doubled overnight. The government responded with force. More than 600 people were arrested.
And there is
Zimbabwe's Human Rights Commission says more people died in last week's protests than during August post-election violence.
The use of excessive force, especially the use of live ammunition, is not called for when dealing with unarmed civilians. There should be other methods of controlling crowds, and we believe that we've got a very well-trained police force in the country.
Julius Choto says his son's death was senseless. He was shot outside a police station.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. Good day, I'm Carol Williams.